Don't forget that the Dooney Secret coaching website, the live link is below in the description here. And if you want to earn more money, if you want to book more shows, if you want to do a better job for the groups that you're working for, in other words, if you want more success at being a professional fun guy, fun girl, joy bringer, then Dooney will help you. One-on-one coaching starts at $300 and it's worth every cent. And not only that, but it's a money-back guarantee. Hope to see you there. All right, I am going to need a helper. This time I'm going to pick on this guy right here. Come on up, dude. What's your name? Akul. Everybody give Akul a big clapping hand and go, yay. Now, Akul, have you ever tried to solve a Rubik's Cube before? These are hard. You don't have to solve it. I just want you to mix it up for me, okay? Just gentle, mix it up. Now, wait a minute, though. You're going to mix up yours. I'm going to mix up mine. We're going to do it behind our backs. All right? Face the audience. All right. So I want you guys to count to 20 for me, okay? I want you to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way up to 20, but go slow. Now, when they start, you start. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, start. 1, 2. Okay, now mix it. 3, 4. Now, while we're mixing it up, I'm going to tell you there are 43 quintillion different color combinations on a Rubik's Cube. A quintillion is 1,000,000 times 1,000,000. When they say stop, 14, okay, keep going. When they get to 20, stop, but don't show them. Okay, 15, 18, 19. Okay, stop, don't show them. Now, when I said there are 43 quintillion different color combinations, that means that yours and mine should never match, right? Unless they're solved. Would you guys be impressed if he solved it behind his back?
Yeah.
All right, take it out, show everybody. 2 Rubik's Cube solved. Wait a Why are you laughing? Will everybody give him a big clapping hand? Give me 5, give me knuckles. Good try, you may sit back down. Now, when I said they were going to be solved, I did not mean it was going to be all red, all green, all blue. What I meant was that mine was going to match yours exactly. See how those match exactly? That's one side, that's 2 sides, that's 3 sides. See how they all match? That's 4 sides. Why aren't you guys clapping? Come on, that's pretty good. That's 5 sides.
I can't.
That's 6 sides. Now, you were actually mixing it up. You weren't pretending, right? You were actually doing it. All right, I'm going to try to solve it. Should I make it easy or hard?
Hard.
All right, so one-handed. Should I make it really easy or really hard?
Really hard.
Okay, I'm going to cover my eyes so I can't even see it. Do you guys trust me?
You're picking. You're picking.
I don't trust me. Okay, I'm going to do it behind my back where I can't see it. Should I let you guys see it or should I not let you guys see it?
We can see it.
All right. That's easier on me. If you see it, it's harder on me. You want it to be harder on me or easier on me? Okay, all right. So I'm going to turn around, and when I say I'm ready, I want you to count to 20 again. I'm going to try to solve it in 20 seconds. I have to plan my moves one-handed. Okay, are you guys ready? I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. Did I switch it?
No.
All right, same one, right? Okay, ready, start counting, go.
1, 2.
I'm not sure if I can do it. I feel pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good. Hold on, just stop. You're not clapping. Come on, that was pretty good. How many minutes? How many did you count to?
10.
10? That's a new world record. You guys should be clapping a lot louder than that. There are a lot of Rubik's Cube tricks out there now. This is one of my favorites. I bought a couple of more. Don't like the other 2s near as much. This one I use all the time. The reason is once it's set, it stays in my bag. It plays well for kids and adults or adults. This is a adult level magic trick, right? Now I paid quite a pretty penny for this. It was like $400 when I originally bought it, but right now it's selling for only half of that. So now would be a good time to buy it. My routine is basically the routine I bought from Greg Wilson, the inventor. It's a great routine. It works really solidly. And the only thing I do differently is in my kids show, I have them count to 20. If I have a bigger show where I have adults and teens that have a phone, I'll have a timer. I'll pick a timer and ask them to run their timer for me. But because it's a little clearer when I'm talking about the 43 quintillion different color combinations. And I want to get that very clear because when I show the two that do actually match, I want that to be a big deal, right? So there's a gimmick in this trick, which means a tool built to look like it's normal, but not. And there's also a little bit of sleight of hand practice, which is not much. Not much. So I have these cubes set up at how they were at the end of the show. And so that I can set this so that you can see what it is I'm doing, okay? So he talks you through exactly how to do it. You start with the white on top, the green on the right. I'm gonna turn this one turn and then turn this around. So one turn, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 6, and that's 7. So the idea when I'm done is I have it 7 moves from being solved, all right? And I know the white middle is the target top. That's where I want it to be on the top because I want it to be all back to white, right? So the white is on top, the red is on my right. So I use those two to target where I want to start. I can look around, I'm looking around, I look like I'm trying to plan my moves, but what I'm doing is lining up that white one with the red on the right. So this is the finale when I do it behind my back. And this is what I had to practice, was how to do this in one hand. And all I'm doing is I'm turning that backwards now and turning it around. Whoops, hold on a second. Backwards, backwards. Got to keep the white on top. Backwards. I can't do this holding it sideways. Backwards. All right. Backwards 7 times, right? Backwards. Backwards. And one more time. 7 times it takes me back to there. So it took me some practice, and I don't usually do it holding it this way. I do it behind my back. So it took me some practice, and I messed it up a bunch of times. So you'll have to learn how to fix these, right? You can either go on YouTube and get the algorithm to do it, or you can do it the old-fashioned way, which is how I sometimes do it because I never took the time to learn, which is I have to tip it sideways. You take this corner block and you break it out of the little holder that it's in. It pops right out. You take it all apart and you put it all back together so that you fix it. So I've had to do that maybe 10 times over the last 10 years. And the first 5 times I had to do it was when I was practicing and I screwed it up. Okay. But that's how the end is done, is because it's preset. All right. So white on top, green on the right. 1, 2, small turn 3, small turn 4, small turn 5, small turn 6, small turn 7. All right. So when I'm doing that behind my back, I also do this. I shake it in between each time. I turn and shake, turn and shake, turn and shake. And the reason is I don't want them to notice that I'm doing the exact same turn and the exact same move. I want them to feel like I'm shaking it around to get the next weird move. Otherwise, I could do it in less time, but I can easily beat 20 seconds. Like my average is around 12 seconds. So so it's okay to do that shake because it gives the image that I'm really moving it around. I'm not just doing the same moves over and over again. Okay? So you will have to practice that. You know, you'll follow the Greg Wilson's instructions and he tells you exactly how to do that. All right? But now that it's set here, all right, this is set, we go to the other part, which is the other cube. All right? And do you notice anything different about this cube and that cube? How about now? Do you notice anything different about this cube and that cube? This one's a little different, right? Because this one has a shell on it. It has a shell on it. And when I do that initial move correctly, there we go. Am I right? No. Where is it? There it is. Okay, so when I do that initial move correctly, what happens is, notice how these two are the same. Those two match. So this shell is designed to match that 7-move Rubik cube. And what happens is that slides right down into there. Now there's also magnets to hold it in place. There are magnets in there to hold it in place. So again, you kind of want to be careful because again, these are engineered, right? But they won't fall out. They'll stay in there. I mean, they will fall out if I'm really shaking them with them. But but it hides it nicely. It holds it in there, and it's all preset to match. Okay. So you'll notice I bring this one out, which you can move. This is the one you hand to the volunteer. You never hand something to a volunteer that they can mess up, right? But you always hand stuff to the volunteer that they can't mess up. You let them play with it. All right, so this is the one they're going to mess up behind their back. And if you notice in the routine, I gave it to them. I said, all right, but we're going to do it behind the back. And I pulled this one out and I said, but I'm going to do mine behind my back. And I only showed it for a second. And I showed it from the side, not from the top. You don't want them to see it from the top. You want to see it from the side. And I immediately went to behind my back. So by mixing up that first one and handing it over and then bringing out the second one, they just assume that this is the same thing, right? There's an assumption that I'm going to mix mine back. We all know what a Rubik's Cube is. We all know what mixing a Rubik's Cube up is. So when I give them theirs to do behind the back and I take mine behind my back, no question, we're just doing it behind our back. So now you do the 20 count. And you have to pretend like you're moving. You have to make movements behind your back like you're twisting it and they're twisting it. And this is where you take the time to say there are 43 quintillion different color combinations on a Rubik's Cube. So no two Rubik's Cubes should ever match unless, of course, they're both solved. So we're going to solve these behind our backs, but you have to make sure to tell them, don't show them, because you want that nice laugh when they're not solved. You say, don't show them when we get to 20. So you tell them to stop. So now once you get to 20, you stop. And you say, all right, here we go. We're going to bring them both out, and they're both going to be solved. You bring them both out, and they're not solved. And everybody's laughing. And you're like looking at it like, what's going on? And so what I do, you'll notice if you go back, is I set theirs on top of mine like this. And I keep talking. So I'm holding them both in my hand like this. And you notice I brought my finger up here. All right. I kind of tip it forward. I'm giving the volunteer a shaking hand, whatever. And what I'm doing is sliding this in and the other one back. So I slide that shell up. I slide that shell up to cover that one. All right. And I do this like next to my body. So I'm pushing this next to my body like that. That's how I can do it easy. All right. So I've taken the one that's actually mixed up, this one. And just by doing this, I've changed it to the one where I've preset. But not only that, but you notice how they're the same now. All right. So I turn, when I take this, I turn theirs just a little bit, just one turn, so they don't look the same. All right. But then I say yours is exactly the same as mine, and I just turn it once, and now they are the same. Now I'm showing everybody that they're both the same. I'll turn it 2 times. They're both the same. That's 2 sides. 3 sides. 4 sides. Now I wanted to do all 6 sides, but you can't do that because the top and the bottom are not the same. The top is the actual mixed up kind, right? So what I do is this, I pause after I do the 4th time. I say 4th time, I say, you're not clapping, and I drop this down to my body, and I just tip these over. So that when I'm showing it, I'm showing now the side, I'm not showing the top. I do a tip so that I'm showing the side and back. All right, so I went 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not clapping, and I tip this 2 tips, 1, 2, so that when I tip it forward, this is back to the side again. It's like I went like this. I went from this side, tip, tip, to this side. Boom, and I do the same thing with the other one. Boom, and boom. And it looks like I've showed all 6 sides. Then immediately get rid of this one. Dump this one and do all your talk with this one. Now I'm going to try to solve it. And when I solve it, I'm going to do it hard. I'm going to make it hard. I'm going to do it behind my back. I need a timer. Who has a watch? And what I'm doing during that time is I'm looking for the white with the red. White with the red. And I'm going to put that on my right side. I know that goes on my right side. So when that goes behind my back, I know I'm set up. I'm set up with my hand on the top of the white, and I have that red to the right. Then I have them start the timer. I tell the timer, okay, don't start till I'm ready. I make sure when I get that behind my back to show it around so that people can see it's all mixed up still. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, go. And now I do the 7 moves. Once again, I'm not sure if I can do this while I'm not doing it behind my back. There's 1. There's 2, little shake in between. There's 3, little shake in between. There's 4, little shake in between. There's 5, little shake in between. Little 6, little shake in between. And there's 7. And they get to see it get solved right in front of their eyes. Now I have to tell you, I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to count to 7 as I'm doing the 7 moves while they're counting. They're counting 1, 2, 3, and I have to count my moves, not with them. Because if all of a sudden I get caught up in their counting, then I don't remember what number I'm on, and I've screwed it up. All right, and I have screwed this up. I've probably performed it 150 times, and I may have screwed it up 3 times, because I lost count, because I messed, I accidentally started to drop this, and when I caught it wrong. But that's okay. I mean, 150 times and I messed up 3 times, that's still a pretty high percentage. That's high enough for me to feel like I can perform it, right? And I don't like to screw it up. So anyway, that's how this one is done. It's a powerful routine. It's great for adults. It's great for kids. I even do it for walk around with adults. I can do it at a table. The only problem is I have to go back and reset this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have to go find the matching place on my where they match, just to make sure I'm right. Slide it in. Put it in my bag so I know which is which. This one comes out first, this one comes out second. Now I'm ready to go. So that's the only problem with doing it as walk around, is I just have to preset that again when I'm in between tables. Anyway, another great bit. Check out my coaching site, check out the airbrush face painting, and have a great day.